Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Secretary National Security Division Waqar Ahmed led the Pakistan delegation to the 19th regular meeting of the Secretaries of the Security Councils of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, held in Astana, Kazakhstan, on 3rd of April. The SSC Forum discussed strategic security issues affecting SCO member states with focus on terrorism and extremism, illicit trafficking of narcotics drugs, transnational organized crime, international information security, and misuse of internet. The situations in Afghanistan and the Middle East, particularly in Gaza, were also discussed. In his statement, Secretary National Security Division warned about far-reaching consequences of terrorist acts for the entire region and stressed the need for adopting a comprehensive approach to address the root causes. He termed peaceful and stable Afghanistan a strategic imperative for regional prosperity and called upon SCO member states to follow a holistic policy and build a broad convergences with SCO region to address multifaceted challenges confronting Afghanistan. Reiterating Pakistan's strict adherence to multilateralism, Mr. Ahmed stressed that international peace and security should be promoted through strict adherence to the principle of UN Charter and faithful implementation of UN Security Council resolutions. Earlier this week, Pakistan's Deputy Permanent Representative to the United Nations, Ambassador Usman Jadoon, was elected as chair of the substantive session of UN Disarmament Commission for the year 2024. He was elected by acclamation on the nomination of the Asia-Pacific Group. We are confident that during his chairmanship, Ambassador Jadoon will hold the principles of multilateralism, dialogue, and collaboration, and promote the mandate of the UN Disarmament Commission to consider and make recommendations on various problems in the field of disarmament. The crimes of Israeli authorities continue unabated in the Middle East. Israel's adventurism in the region reached a new height with its irresponsible attack this week on the consular section of the Iranian embassy in Damascus, Syria. The attack is a violation of UN Charter, international law, and conventions. This week's targeted strikes on the World Central Kitchen convoy in Gaza is also not an isolated incident. Over the past 6 months, Israeli authorities have been involved in gross and systematic violations of international humanitarian law by repeatedly targeting UNRWA, humanitarian relief organizations, and unarmed civilians. Deliberate targeting of a humanitarian convoy bringing food to people facing famine is a serious violation of international humanitarian law. The attack has taken place at a time when Israel is creating hurdles in UNRWA's efforts to bring food and vital life-saving aid to the people of Gaza. We condemn these atrocities and call for international accountability of Israel for its crimes against humanity. We also call for the immediate, full, and effective implementation of the provisional orders of the International Court of Justice announced in January this year. Pakistan welcomes the additional provisional measures ordered by the ICJ on 28th of March in the backdrop of deteriorating situation in Gaza. The latest ICJ ruling confirms further exacerbation of an already grave situation in Gaza, with famine setting in as a result of continued Israeli obstruction of humanitarian aid, food, and other basic necessities. The court has reiterated its injunction calling for unobstructed provision of humanitarian assistance, including food, water, electricity, fuel, and medical supplies to Palestinians throughout Gaza. The decision by ICJ also confirms that Israel continues to defy the earlier measures announced in January 24, for which Israel must be held accountable. We also reiterate our call for the full and expeditious implementation of the UN Security Council Resolution 2728, adopted on 25th of March, leading to a permanent ceasefire, lifting of all barriers to the provision of humanitarian assistance, and ensuring protection of civilians throughout the Gaza Strip. As the holy month of Ramadan comes to an end, the Indian occupation authorities have once again decided to deny permission to hold Eid al-Fitr prayers at Eidgah in Srinagar. The chief cleric of Srinagar's historic Jama Mosque and senior Kashmiri leader, Mirwais Umar Farooq, has been placed under house detention in order to prevent him from attending an event held in the memory of his ancestors, late Mirwais Maulvi Muhammad Yusuf Shah. The Indian authorities are in the habit of enforcing such curbs in Srinagar for the past several years, imposing restrictions on Kashmiri religious leaders and restraining the Kashmiri public from congregating on special religious occasions have become pervasive in IIOJK. We urge the Indian authorities to respect the right of the people of IIOJK to peaceful assembly and to freely practice their religion. Pakistan will continue to extend political, diplomatic, and moral support to our Kashmiri brothers and sisters for the just and peaceful settlement of the Jammu and Kashmir dispute in accordance with the UN Security Council resolutions. I thank you.